personally, mate, thank you very much for speaking to me. I do appreciate how real sort of unreal it is to speak to someone as experienced as yourself in such an elite counter-terror unit, and I've been told before this about how lucky I actually am. So firstly, thank you very much.
You're welcome, it's my pleasure.
Thank you. So can you give me a little bit of a rundown of, I guess, your history and I guess who you are, without giving too much away?
Okay, I'm serving in special unit, counter-terror. And Saturday morning, October 7th, I woke up in the morning when the phone was ringing, and I got a call to jump to the unit. We gathered, we took our equipment and the car and drove to the south. What they said, it's a group of terrorists. They never said how many, nobody knew how many. Eventually it was around 2,000 terrorists just around all the area. We got there around 9 o'clock in the morning. Then a roadblock of the IDF stopped us. Eventually it wasn't the IDF, the terrorists took uniform. They saw us and they start shooting us while we driving. We stop the car, get out of the car and start fighting, shooting. We killed all of them, and then from there we continue. At that point, the Badly movie that we never thought that we're gonna be there begin. We drove to Sderot city, to the police station. There were 20 terrorists inside, took the police officer hostages. And then we had a fight of 25 hours just to rescue all the police officers from there. We had a very tough fight. And then we understood that this is more than a group of terrorists. It was a very bad day. It was a very sad day. The horrible things that we saw, you can't understand that. You can't tolerate the sin that you see. We searched house by house. One of the houses I saw a baby in the oven. Unfortunately, they took the baby in front of his parents, and they opened the oven. They put the baby, 2 months baby, inside the oven, turn on the heat, high heat, and just it starts screaming and burning. I'm sorry. Yeah, the parents saw that. Then they shot the father and the mother in the middle of the living room. This is one of the horrible scenes that I saw there. It was tough. It was tough to see. This is how 7th of October began for me.
And at what point did you realise how much bigger this was than a usual counter-terror operation that you've been involved in previously?
Once we entered to Sderot city, we start and see terrorists coming, 5 from here, 4 from here, 6 from there. They drove cars in the middle of the street, and we had to fight and block them and kill them before they continue to do all the damage, all the killing that they did that day. But then we understood that it's something bigger than what we thought. Once we get to Kfar Aza or Kibbutz Be'eri, okay, all the villages, all the places there, we saw it wasn't a place that you can live. It's like houses burned, and cars and bodies on the streets, like hundreds of bodies on the street. When they stood that, it was very, very tough. Then we understood that it's different war, it's different type of game, that we need to understand how we deal with that. We had 15 scenes of hostages, different scenes that we needed to control all these areas.
And how, seeing those horrific acts like you've described, how has that affected you and the team that you were with at the time?
Since then, we keep fighting. We have to keep doing what we need to do. We had no time to think. We had no time to cry. We had no time to deal with that. We just need to go on and on, because it's never stop. Once we're gonna have the time, we're gonna do that, I believe. But it's tough. It's hard. It comes at night, it comes every day in your mind, in your thoughts, but it's not easy. It's not easy to anybody. I think it hits every single person here in Israel. Everyone know someone over there.
Yeah. And did any members of your team get injured or lose their lives in this?
Yeah, once we got there to this area, the first team that got there first time of the morning, he got missile into the car. Six guys from my team killed from that missile. Another one got injured. He went out from the car, get down under the car, and was ready with his gun. About 15 terrorists approached the car to make sure that everybody killed. They were 5 meters from the car. Then second team arrived. They came out from the car and start shooting and killed them. It was like at the last second. Yeah, so it was really tough. Yeah.
And can you give us a rough idea of how many terrorists that your team actually engaged and neutralized?
There is an estimate. At the first day we got 250 terrorists. At the first 2 days we got 400.
Wow.
Maybe more.
Can you give us an idea at least? I know this is classified, but how many people is in a team like that that killed these 400 guys?
It's in different scenes, so I can't tell you, but there were scenes that a lot of terrorists was around. If it was hostages scene, it was about 20-25 people in one place. It was hostage scene in one house. It was 5 people. So I can't. It's really tough to say how many each scene, but total it was about 400 of the first 2 days. Yep. And
I know you've got a vast history in counter-terror from off-camera discussion. How was this so much different to what you'd operated in before, as far as the tactics and weapons used by Hamas at the time?
We got trained to rescue hostages from a house, from plane, from. This is different war. They were spread all over. They were hiding here, hiding behind the building, behind the trees, behind the bushes. So it's not something that here at that place. You have terrorists. you know, you can prepare before, you know, you can see footages or the scene before, you know, before you arrive. That was a very big mess. So we didn't know exactly where to go. Once we get to the area, we start fighting and searching. This is what we did. And then we got a call, we got information about this house or other house, so we got there. But it was difficult to put a finger on a specific spot that we got information together. It was tough. Yeah.
Was there anything that surprised you about these terrorists, I guess, tactics and actions? Were they better military trained than you thought, or maybe better weapon systems than you thought? As we know, they've been preparing for this for a very long time with backing from other proxy nations as well.
No, nothing surprised me about the way they fight, the way they because they tried before to do things like that. What surprised me is the brutal things that they did. No, I don't know any human being that can do things like that. It was horrible. It was horrible. It's not even an animal. I can't say that they are animals. It's more than that. But this is what surprised me most. Yep.
I realise that this is insensitive to ask, and I know it affects someone as human as yourself, but for those out there who are, I guess, having some doubts on what happened of that day, do you mind telling us about some of the brutal actions that you saw on that day? Because there's a lot of people who are casting doubt that these brutal acts we heard that Hamas did, they're casting doubt that happened. Can you, I know it's insensitive to ask, but can you explain some more of the things that you saw on that day, or those first days?
Yeah, we found cameras in the house, in one of the houses, and we saw the video after. They entered to one house with 2 kids and parents. They tied the parents together and the kids together, and they came to the father. In front of the kids, they shot the father in his head and killed him. And then they took the eye from one of the kids, just took it out, and he was screaming there, and he just screamed and asked from the terrorists to kill him. He said, "I want to die, I want to die." He was 10 years old. And it was unacceptable. I don't know how human being can do that.
Yeah. And on the other side of that, can you tell us, I guess, a story of retrieval of hostages that was, successful, and I guess a more happy story, if that's the correct term to use?
Yes. Yes, most of the hostages seen, we had succeed. In Ofakim was 2 elderly couple. They were there, and the woman was amazing. She realized that she in a situation that she can't do anything. 5 terrorists get into her house, lock the door, and she start to be like, "Okay, do you want to eat something? I'll take care of you. You got injured, I'll take care of you." And she start make them soft a little bit, but she keep them busy. And what gives us, take care of the scene, get closer, get ready to go inside. Once we went inside the house, we killed them, and they were saved, and nobody killed, nobody injured. But it was a few of those like this.
It's unbelievable you actually tell that story, as I've actually filmed in that house in Ofakim, just down the road. I was in that house and interviewed actually the son of that mother that you guys rescued as well. I didn't realise that level of connection.
Yeah.
And hearing about some of the tactics of both bottom and ground, ground and top story entry onto that building.
Yeah.
As well, and the successful hostage rescue of anyone with a military background or policing background will know a successful rescue in a tight urban environment like that is very, very difficult. So I applaud how that went. Now, after that initial, say, 72 hours and the scene became under more control, we did hear for a number of, really 2 weeks or more after, that there still was Hamas terrorists in areas in and around the front, including somewhere like this. Do you believe that there could still be people that crossed on that dark day that are still operating in Israel?
I think so. We saw a few of them. We caught them a few days later. They were hiding inside the bushes with food, with all those things to be and stay here for a long time, and we saw a few of those. So I don't know where they get, but there is a chance that there are more of those. Yeah.
I've had a few other gentlemen tell me offline that there's also been they've retrieved and found weapons from Iran as well as North Korea. Is there any, I guess, more on that?
I don't know about that, about the weapons they got, but I can tell that I heard that too. I didn't see in my eyes, but there is a chance that they got different weapons from Iran, from other countries. Yeah, probably.
And what, I guess, are your concerns moving forward with this conflict or this war now, and the counter-terror operation that will continue?
I have no concern. I know we're going there and we get them, and we're gonna do the best to catch all of those guys, and we're gonna destroy Hamas. And this is what, in our eyes, what happened, nobody can forget it. But this thing will go with us every step in this war. About the conflict, I don't know. I don't think it's related to the conflict. This is not about the conflict. Hamas got the Palestinian, for my opinion, as the hostages. They do something that not present other people. Okay, so we need to deal with them, with the Hamas. We're not dealing with the Palestinian now. This is not the issue.
Yes. So you recognise that there's a clear separation between the Palestinian people and Hamas. Absolutely. And we need to take this fight. Don't stop until the end. And what is the change in tactics between what you guys are operating down here in Hamas and what units in the north against Hezbollah are doing? How does that differ?
It's different area. It's different type of place, different type of war. The tactics, it's different over there. Probably they have more weapons, more missiles. The border from the north or from the east, it's open. They got what they got, but I don't think something can stop us. We're gonna win this war. At the south, it's more in streets war, kind of. It's different tactics. Yeah.
And what are the primary challenges facing your units when they head into Gaza City? What is the thing that's really the challenge? Is it the tunnels? Is it the urban warfare?
Yeah.
Is it the IED threat?
Yeah, the challenge is the tunnels, the combination of the tunnels, of the houses, the buildings there. It's a very tight place, but we have our tactics to work safely as much as we can. So we can do that with minimum casualties.
And how high of a priority is it for those civilians that have remained in the north of Gaza? We know that they were given multiple weeks to move to the south, but as you know, we spoke about, Hamas has stopped people moving to the south as well. How high of a priority is it to reduce that collateral damage once the guys are on the ground fighting?
I'm sorry, I didn't get the question again, please.
Sorry, to protect the civilians that are still remaining in Gaza.
Yeah. I think we do the best to help the civilians in Gaza. We start with throwing notes from the airplanes to warn them to take the things and go to the south, evacuate from their house because we're going to get there. We gave them 2 weeks. It's a lot of time to evacuate. I know that we even call personally to people, call by phone personally to people to evacuate. We did a lot to make sure that the civilians are safe, okay? But I know also the Hamas hold them as hostages. They threaten them by weapons. You're not moving anywhere. You stay here, because they're using the civilians as a human machine.
Now, your team sadly has taken casualties and a lot of other casualties, in the IDF, the police, etc. How is the morale for the soldiers, here on the ground? What are you feeling?
We have one country, and we're gonna do all the best to save our country and to fight for our people. People know that this is a hard time, but we have to take a deep breath and continue to fight. We're not going to stop until people here will feel safe.
And do you think that Israel, the government, is doing enough to support the individual soldiers on the ground?
I believe they do the best. I don't want to go and talk politics, but I think we feel we have all the support from them.
Great.
Yep.
And what sort of tempo are you guys facing in the next few weeks? How many operations really will be occurring?
I'm not allowed to talk about this thing,
Of course.
Yes.
Is there anything you see in the media that is like a misconception that they commonly get wrong about Israel or about the operations taking place?
I think journalists need to spread what really happened here, show pictures, talk about what happened inside the houses, show the people all over the world what exactly happened, so people can listen. Because I think when you don't want to believe, you won't believe, but people needs to see it.
And what would you tell someone in the West, say, who referred to Hamas as a freedom fighter rather than a terrorist?
What do you mean?
So we will hear that Hamas is fighting for freedom of Palestine rather than that they are terrorists. What would you tell someone who...
It's not related to fight for freedom, because the freedom took from them by the Hamas, not by us. They got jobs, they got money, they got food, they got everything, they got place, land, they got everything. There is no relation to anything about us. This is Hamas that took them as hostages. They not present the Palestinian. for my opinion, yeah? But many like me.
Mate, I really want to thank you for speaking to me. I really appreciate it. And those horrors on the first days and the horrors that still continue. I wish you all the best, and thank you. I know speaking to me is, it's not something your unit ever does.
Yeah.
So thank you.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
Is there anything else you'd like to mention to my audience? Is primarily military and English speaking. Is there anything else you think they should know before we leave?
I think we covered everything basically about what's going on and what happened. More than this, I think it's gonna be dangerous for us, because I don't want to give more information that's gonna risk our soldiers. So I'm sorry about that, but
absolutely not. I'd hate for you to give information that put anyone at risk. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and I wish you and your team all the best. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
You're welcome.